Hi Aquarius, I hope that you guys are doing well. Before we get into it, let's set the intention for this to be a space where everyone allows themselves to feel seen and validated, and ultimately for this to be a safe space and a healing space in alignment with everyone's highest good. For some of you, there is an Aries in your life that is making some sort of offer to you. For others of you, this can be from like an institution or a business. Can be from somebody, like some sort of masculine figure in your life even. So many different things. For some of you, it can be like somebody extending an offer. It's like maybe they want you to work for their business or they want to collaborate with you in some sort of way. Or this can be like an independent business even. You could be working with someone. For some of you, it's even like a small business that you're going to be working with. You could even be like a client or something. But for others of you, I am seeing this as being a person. For some of you too, you could be even having like a business opportunity that you're going to be a part of. Let's see, let's get further. So many different options right now. So many different roads we can go down. Channels of energy. So something may be bringing a sense of, I'm hearing frustration entirely is what I'm hearing. The Eight of Swords speaks about being in a place where you may feel kind of caught up in your head. You may be experiencing like some sort of anxiety. It looks like something that's being worked through though, whatever this is for you. It's okay. So, as I said about like working something through right now, so the Eight of Swords is like feeling caught up in your head, or like you can't move, or having a hard time making a decision, or feeling like a lot of anxiety in regard to something. And to have the King of Cups pop out of it, and to also have the Eight of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck, this is like something that you're working on, something that you're working through. So this is about like taking your power back ultimately by managing your emotions effectively. And like also your experience, and like not just your emotions, but also where you're allowing your thoughts to go to, and recognizing that like just because you have a thought, it doesn't mean that that's who you are. So this is understanding like the difference between like your experience that you're having and you as the observer, and that like every emotion you experience, it's about like allowing it to come, allowing it to go, observing these things that you're experiencing, rather than feeling like you need to take action with it or identify with it or over identify with it. Yeah, I'm even seeing it be like this thing between like you and your higher self here. And it's like your higher self is kind of side-eyeing that part of you that gets like really anxious and caught up. It's like that part of you that's like, this is the end of the world. I can't believe this is happening. And your higher self is like, chill out. Like, we'll take care of it. We're going to figure it out. Yeah, and here it is. The Eight of Pentacles that I was talking about popping out just for you. I'm seeing like something that you've been continuously working on when it comes to like healthy coping strategies, grounding your energy, not feeling like you need to react, but rather to respond and take the time that you need to figure out how you want to handle certain things, how you want to respond, if you even want to respond, because not every situation is going to call for that either. So yeah, like a lot of personal growth that we are seeing. Putting in the time, putting in the energy, and recognizing that this is absolutely going to be worth it to you. Like I'm even seeing this because the Six of Pentacles can be like you and another entity trying to figure out like whether or not something is going to be reciprocated, or it's going to be worth it to you, or like, are you going to get what you need from this situation? And I'm seeing this be like you showing up for yourself and doing something that's going to be worth it to you. So it's like you're giving yourself something here through this self-work that you are participating in actively, especially because it's like something was a problem, something could have been delaying you or restricting you from something that you wanted to do, and because you're working on this now, it's like you're pulling away some type of barrier that had been an issue before. Something had even been like, yeah, restricting or restraining you. I'm getting something about a barber here. I don't know why, but this thing down here, if you can see that, it's very hard to see. That thing down there, it reminds me of like a tool that somebody would use. What I feel very much like this is about is that before, when things weren't working out with certain people, you could have like even subconsciously been putting your emotional experience, like the responsibility of that, onto another person. Like, you hurt me, you broke my heart, like all of this stuff. And like, rather than taking accountability and being like, you know what, like my feelings, my problem, so-called. So it's more like my feelings, my responsibility, you know, this is something that I need to work on. Like, I'm responsible for how I feel. That's not something that I put on other people. It's my job to take care of these things, whatever it is, because ultimately, like, I get to choose what I do with this experience and what I do with the narrative ultimately. And it seems like because you are taking back your power in a way that maybe you had felt helpless or powerless before, it's like you giving yourself a gift here. Sorry, like the side of my face, I see it like glowing in the light. It's the sun setting. We're just gonna go with it. And I'm seeing something that like finally you get to break into that like before you hadn't been able to. But the only thing stopping you was yourself, really, in this situation. And I think that you recognize that too. It's like you embrace yourself and step into a new land and like break into something. And you're like, this whole time I could have been here already, but this thing had been holding me back. And like, in the grand scheme of things, I'm seeing you recognize this as something that, like, if you had just overcome it a bit sooner, which everything happens at the time that it's meant to. So just know that as well. Because you may be getting into the mindset of like, I should have done this sooner, or like, I could have been here faster, whatever it is. It's like you needed that time. So recognize that as well when it comes to like where you are now in comparison to where you had been, and like see the value in that too. Because there's no like specific time frame that everything needs to be happening on. It's all going as it is meant to be. I'm hearing something about a taste of freedom. I'm even seeing you, Aquarius, I'm seeing you even vibing out, and it's like people in the, if people are just like observing you, see you here, it's like these things that had restricted you before with the Eight of Swords, and it's like these things where you had second guessed yourself or been like, I don't know if I want to go in that direction. It's like you are just taking the weight of all of that off. And this can even be like social standards, or like, my parents told me that I was supposed to be this when I grew up, but like I really wanted to be a ballerina. And it's like you are stepping into your little outfit now and like twirling on the stage and feeling very happy about it. So it's like whatever this is for you that had you caught up and feeling like you needed to be something other than what you were, I'm just seeing like you letting go of all of this stuff now. This is reminding me of a quote. There's like this, there's this Instagram that I follow, and it's a lot of like existential stuff. And it's like, I wish that I could recall it exactly, but it's like this little character is talking about, like being tired in some way or wanting to give up. And like the little guide or higher self is telling the person that like they're not tired of life and all of this stuff, they're tired of the mask actually, and they're tired of not being themselves. And that was really the thing that was so draining for them. And it feels like one of those moments where like maybe something going on with the ego was inhibiting something, as far as like you stepping into a more free energy where you felt unrestrained. Because the Fool feels unrestricted, because there's a sense of like stepping into an authentic and genuine light. I'm getting something, I'm hearing the word cashmere. I'm getting something about like a design. It looks, I'm hearing ancient. You see the Fool? this stuff, it reminds me of like some type of pattern. It feels like you are stepping onto, I'm hearing the correct course of action. And it may have taken you like a little bit to get going, but now I'm seeing you just step onto this path and you were like, this is the right thing for me for sure. And I'm just seeing you like maybe looking a little bit different to people. It's like, oh, I never thought that they would do that. But everybody sees you, like, even though like to the observers you may like look a little bit different, it's like you are wearing that outfit perfectly. So I'm seeing it not even be a question. It's like people are recognizing that this is something that maybe you were always meant to be doing. And I'm seeing people even like seeing you be very brave within your energy and like standing out, because not just to stand out, it's like that's just a byproduct of what you're doing, but I'm seeing you stand out in a particular way. And it's like people are now curious about this thing that you're doing. Like they want to know more about it. They want to know how you do what you do, or like what even got you from this transition from like being in your head and maybe closed off about doing something to like really opening up now and shining brightly is what I'm hearing. And it's something that like really puts you in touch with yourself now in a way where like other people want to understand how to do that too. Like I'm seeing you may even get questions about this, about like something even that you took a chance on, that like you had to have faith in yourself and like the universe in order for you to do this. I'm also hearing in order for you to create this. There are also some people that feel very stuck and comfortable in their patterns, and this is not going to make sense to them because they allow like their anxiety, and I'm also hearing prejudice, to hold them back. So know too that not everybody is going to understand your vision, and that's okay. For some of you too, I will say this, you may have some people coming around that you want to be able to like read into the difference between the people that are coming around that are like open and wondering about your energy because they're actually open to it, versus people that are coming around to like bring you down. Because I'm seeing this also be important too, like needing to decipher and see the difference between these energies. Because some people may be coming around to like start some sort of drama, or like infuse you with some sort of doubt, or it just like brings some sort of chaos into your life or something low vibrational. And then you have people that are like genuinely curious about what you're doing, and like you may be some sort of guide for them. But it's important to know the difference, and also know that you don't have to take on anything that you're not willing to take on, and that like people are not entitled to you in your space and knowing about your journey. However, it's something that you can share if you want to. So yeah, knowing that, like, as much as, yeah, I am getting like some people may definitely feel entitled to like you and asking you questions and all of that stuff, but it's not something that you need to necessarily respond to unless you want to. I'm seeing that be the least of your concerns. Yeah, I'm seeing like something that you're doing is definitely gaining traction. I'm seeing a lot of people, like even people at a distance. I'm seeing something going on with technology, communication, stuff like that. I'm also hearing the word viral. It's like there's something that like this can even be in a small business that you're doing, or like some creative endeavor. And you're getting more, like for some of you, more steady clients. Interesting. I'm getting like a plethora of different like businesses and jobs and whatnot. It's like all this creative type of stuff, that all these creative types of things that people are doing. I'm getting like so many different mediums that people are working with, but like the consistent element to all of that is it's like some sort of like creative business, creative venture. For some of you, you could even be traveling somewhere. This can mean in a sense where like something is growing and something is getting bigger, but like for some of you physically, you actually could be traveling somewhere. It's like you could even get invited to somewhere and you're going to be like going and seeing something. I'm seeing like a lot of communication, a lot of talk, a lot of back and forth. For some of you too, like there may be, I don't know if the Page of Swords is one person, it could be multiple people for some of you. It's more so like an onlooker type of energy of people being curious. For some of you, this is solely about like your business and it's like people want to work with you. I'm also hearing invest in you. And it's like they want some sort of involvement in what you're doing, and you may like be communicating that with them and making some sort of plan and like going somewhere with this person. For others of you, like somebody could be reaching out or multiple people could be reaching out, and I'm seeing like communication and like some type of plan going back and forth with them. And for some of you, you could even be like traveling to meet this person, stuff like that. I'm seeing this be related to a new chapter that you're in for yourself. So it's like there are going to be, I'm seeing this symbolize like a lot of new opportunities for you that can play out in many different ways. I'm hearing when the lights go down on the city. I think that's is that a song? That's a song. For some of you, there is a choice that you make that may put you in a position where you could technically be a bit more vulnerable, maybe to like outside energies. However, if you can raise your vibration and keep it at a steady pace, and you have the proper coping strategies and or are willing to learn and adapt, I'm seeing that even though you may be like putting yourself out there more, something that could potentially affect you and bring you down is not going to. And this can be even like a nuisance type of energy. Like I'm seeing people that may be curious, but it may fall into the territory of like being harmful, but that may not be the intent of them behind it, but they may not have the self-awareness to be like realizing how they could potentially be impacting you. So it's like if you know how to be the King of Cups in relation to these things that are happening, you are gonna, I'm hearing get off scot-free. It's like this isn't gonna affect you. It's kind of like return to sender type of vibes. So it's like their vibes are gonna like bounce off of you, and their intentions are gonna bounce off of you, and not gonna like penetrate your vibe in any sort of way. But it's also a decision to like put yourself out there in the first place. I'm seeing this too, because you don't have to if you don't want to. But if you do, be prepared is what I'm hearing. It's about like having a support system, whether this be like people in your life or your guides and all of that. Yeah, I'm seeing like you be very, very highly protected. Like I'm seeing even instant karma happening with certain people. It's like if anybody has some weird intention for you, I'm seeing it just be like returned back immediately. I'm hearing bounce back. So yeah, know that your guides have you covered. It's like also make sure that you're doing things on your end as well when it comes to like you protecting your energy, which would mean like don't deliberately be engaging in things that you feel like lower your vibration, things that you don't feel good about. If there are ways to like cut off certain types of energies, if you don't like the way they feel, like make sure you're doing that. There's so many different ways to protect your energy, and like different systems I'm hearing may resonate with each of us. So there isn't just like I'm hearing tell all about it. It's like certain things will work for certain people, And those things may not work for other people. So it's all about like what you feel comfortable with and what works for you as far as protecting your energy. There isn't like an ABC of how you do it and like a blueprint that's going to work, because each of us are different and each of us are affected by different things too. And that's why it would look differently for each of us. But it's about finding the thing that works for you. I know sometimes that can be uncomfortable too, because it's like, just tell me what to do, but it's not always like that. You're gonna have to figure it out for yourself through like self-reflection and all of that, and you communicating with your guides and researching and all of that business. Some of you too, I'm getting this be a big thing. Like in the past, you may have felt the need to like defend yourself in some sort of way, or like retort or like clap back at certain people. And now there's this sense of recognizing that sometimes the best thing to do is actually not to respond at all. I'm seeing it be like all of these lessons that the King of Cups is going through, and I'm seeing this be your energy. So it's like all of the ways that you don't need to respond to people and that you can actually dismiss things, rather than like getting all puffed up and like your ego being like, we need to reply. It's like, you don't actually need to reply, because it's something that like, if you're replying or taking your time to actually respond to certain things, you are deliberately choosing to interact with someone and exchange energy. And that means that you're going to have to move down to their vibration in order to interact with that person. So it's like, ask yourself who you're interacting with, and like, do you want to, I'm hearing zoom down to their frequency. It's like, do you want to meet them on that level that they are, or do you want to stay where you are and not allow that to touch you? Because you get to decide, you get to choose. And when you respond, you are having that sort of energetic exchange with someone, and that can absolutely affect your frequency, because you are freely like giving your energy and opening up. I'm hearing your portal to that person's energy. So I'm seeing it like this thing that you're working on when it comes to like communication, even things that have to do with like technology. I'm seeing it be like, I'm hearing, okay, let's slow down. It feels very mercurial with like this stuff that you're working on. So this is like movement, communication, receptivity, the throat chakra in general, and also includes like your decision making as well with the Judgment card here. So it's like how you go about making your choices, and like what types of moves you want to be making in relation to these things that you have thought out. Especially when it comes to like what you are giving your energy to, and whose energy you are opening your arms up to receive, proverbially. And where that takes you. Because it's like, if you want to interact with like high vibrational inspirations is what I'm hearing. It's like these different energies that you like feel good to be around, and that you feel keep you in a good place and feel supportive of you and are growth oriented is what I'm hearing. It's like, this is something that's going to keep you in a place where you feel good about what you're interacting with, and you walk away feeling a sense of like peace and calm and direction and all of that, and clarity. And that is going to keep you like in the lane that you want to be moving in. And this is something to be mindful of too. Like when you interact with certain people, like how do you feel when you walk away from it? Like when you read certain things, how do you feel when you walk away from it? Like when you are like watching certain media, how do you feel when you walk away from it? It's like stuff that is we are meant to pay attention to these things, because they're messages for you, telling you like whether things resonate with you or not, or whether you're being encouraged to engage with it further or to move away from it actually. This is also the time too to ask yourself, like if you get triggered by particular things, finding out why that is. Because sometimes it's an opportunity for us to grow, and other times it's a message that we need to get out of somewhere. So it's also something that you want to dive into, because we also don't want to get into bypassing, which would mean like avoiding doing the work. So yeah, always something to tune into. It looks too like there's a conscious effort once you recognize like what you can give and where your standards are as far as that, what you want to be interacting with, how you are capable and willing to interact with certain people. I'm seeing you go in a direction where like you may be getting into a connection with someone or people, like even a support group or something like that, where there's like a mutual sense of helping hands is what I'm hearing. It's like finding any sort of support and like even waiting on something to grow. This feels like, I don't even know, something that you may be building for yourself, and it seems like something that you want around you that would end up being supportive or helpful to you. This can even be like having certain people that you go to for advice or any type of support, people that you trust, people that you like admire the way that they lead their lives. I'm looking at Libra, Pluto, I'm hearing Scorpio specifically, and Uranus. For some of you too, this can come down to like people that want to, like for those of you that are entrepreneurs, this can also be about people that you're going to be working with, or like even content that you work with too, and figuring out like whether you want to engage with certain people or whether you don't. Because I will say this too, for some of you, it's like, if somebody somebody can be offering to pay you like a large amount of money, but it's something that like you may feel is out of alignment for you, and so you're going to be in a space where it's like, do you take the money and do something where you're kind of like selling your soul for money, or are you going to be like, nope, that's not in alignment for me, and that's not something that I feel comfortable with. I'm hearing that's not how I run my business. And as we talk about running our business, the King of Pentacles is here talking about work. For some of you too, you could be like really focusing on, I'm hearing steady clientele. It's like the people that that come in that maybe are like more routine or regular business partners is what I'm hearing. I'm seeing like even some sort of obstacle that you're facing. I'm looking at 2 9s connected here with the 9 of Cups and the 9 of Wands. It's like there may be some sort of obstacle connected with something that you want. It looks like there's some type of challenge that you're facing. I'm seeing this be a surprise. It's like a pop quiz from the universe with the 9 of Wands and the Tower following. We haven't seen the Tower in a while. So what's this about? I'm seeing an image of like being at a bowling alley and the bowling ball like knocking over all of the pins. It looks like there's some type of showdown that's happening here. Something may be affecting like your routine and your stability in some sort of way, and you are going to be called to take action, and you get to kind of steer where this is going. I'm seeing this be like maybe you were comfortable being in one mode and it's like you're gonna have to switch out your face. I'm seeing this more so be like a transition from the King of Pentacles to the King of Wands. So you may be being guided to be like more assertive or more creative or come up with more creative solutions, because it's like something may knock your routine a little bit, and it's like you can still stay on course, but you may need to like change a way that you're approaching something. I'm seeing that be the challenge here. Because the King of Pentacles is somebody that's like steady fine-tuning and feeling good in my habit and like consistent hard work and whatnot, and like we can do the same thing every day, day in and day out. This is of course an exaggeration, but I'm just giving you like the notion of the energy. And then the King of Wands is somebody that it's like you may need to think about your ideas, how you want to be planning these things out, how to execute them, how to take action. There may be a time where like you need to be more assertive with your energy in a type of way, whereas before, like with the King of Pentacles, the King of Pentacles can be more reserved. It's not somebody that may like jump immediately to say something, so you may be stepping into more of a fire energy where it's like you're immediately jumping to take action and do something. It's like we need to do something now about this, and you are expected to be the leader in some sort of way. I'm hearing cultivating the mantra, and I'm seeing this be some type of challenge. Like I'm even seeing like the Tower doesn't even intimidate you if you step into this fire energy. And all of us have fire. This can be like some sort of activation of Mars within your chart, even Pluto. I'm getting something with Uranus too. It's like if you decide that you are strong enough to handle something that may have happened unexpectedly or like it wasn't part of the plan, if you take on the mindset that like you're gonna get this done and you're gonna fight for what you believe in and you're gonna pull this through and stay on track, you will absolutely be able to. It's just about you like talking yourself into that space, I'm seeing. Because it's like if you believe that you are strong enough, this is a challenge that you are going to be able to overcome. I'm hearing the word usurp. There's this sense of pulling through something, but you have to believe that you can. Because you see the way that the King of Wands is looking at the Tower here? It's like the Tower can be like mayhem or these things that you hadn't been anticipating. And the way that the King of Wands looks at it, it's like, yeah, this is happening and I'm going to jump on this and I got this. Because the King of Wands knows that they are very capable of handling the situation. Even if it had disrupted like routine or money or business in some sort of way, or like your responsibilities. And this can even be something where it like goes outside of the realm of what you had been responsible for. Like maybe there's something else now that you're going to have to take onto your plate. But like being very like creative and passion driven and like fire oriented, that's what's going to help you. And I'm seeing like you'll still be able to secure what this thing is that you're working towards or what you want. It just may be a little bit different. Like you may need to switch it up a little bit in order to do this, but like if you believe that you can, you are absolutely going to be able to successfully figure out this situation for yourself. And it looks like something unnecessary is going to be ending anyway. Like I'm seeing this be able to like help you on many different ends, because before when it pops through you may be like, what an inconvenience that this is happening, but then it ends up actually getting you closer to something that you want. So I'm seeing this, and I'm seeing this actually end up benefiting you even if it doesn't feel like that immediately. So it's like just roll with the punches here. It's going to be helpful to you. I'm looking at Mars and Leo here. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everybody for joining. Thank you for tuning in. I'm wishing everybody love and light and healing, and I hope to catch you guys next time.